All right. Yeah, we can get started. Do you need anything more to keep you grounded?
Oh, that's actually a good one. I think I'm good. I already took 5 deep breaths
Mhm.
before this call. I think I'm good.
Great. Good to know. So, where do we start?
Well, um, actually, I have been thinking about one thing um, that is really, really, I guess, very important in my mind, but I haven't got a chance to talk to anyone in depth just because I feel like I've been dealing with this kind of little small things every day, and potentially that's just a norm of any relationships with kids. So yeah, so the topic is actually around, well, to sum up, the work distribution or the relationships, like the responsibilities between mom and dad in your family, with kids, especially in terms of parenting, the role of each parent. I guess that is quite challenging to define this topic, this problem as of now, because I just feel like I have a lot of complaints
Mm.
towards my partner. Um, how he reacts to issues from kids, how he plays a role in his family raising a kid. So yeah.
Hmm. So, am I summarizing this correctly? You'd like to talk about responsibilities allocation between mom and dad in parenting.
Yeah, also, I definitely want something fair. I definitely want something reciprocal, I guess.
Mm.
And in terms of fair, I know it's really hard to define fairness sometimes, but I feel like two parents really need to work together to raise child or children if you have more than one. Instead of, I feel like in my family, it's like two people are trying to get rid of these responsibilities in certain ways and dump it to another person, with the hope we're just trying to get more of his me time,
Mm.
self-care time. I don't see it as something fair to me. I also don't see it as something healthy for any relationships, especially these two people are working on something together.
So, people don't take responsibilities, or at least don't own responsibilities.
Yeah, an initiative. I think probably the other person thinks he's taking the responsibility by doing A, B, C, D, and E, like dropping out, picking up. But it's like no initiative, no real motivation just to really be a good partner or like collaborator. Uh, yeah.
Initiative and responsibilities,
Mm.
fairness. Which one stands out for you?
Hmm. I would say fairness, I guess, and well, two things. Fairness between us. That's the first thing that stands out to me. And the second thing is about how kids receive love and care from their parents. I want the kids to feel parents really love them. They're fighting to love them instead of fighting to kind of get rid of the responsibilities. I want the
Mm.
kids to feel loved and care unconditionally, and also with, like, I mean, more energy or like more commitment. Basically, we're kind of cheerfully taking on this responsibility instead of, okay, this is a thing to do, this is duty, so we okay, let me assign this to this person or the other person.
Mm.
uh I feel like in our family right now is kind of operating in this way, that there are a lot of responsibilities in this family, and people are not really cheerfully taking on them. They're just, okay, I cannot do A. Can you please do A? Like this atmosphere is very different from the environment I was raised up, grow up. My parents are just fighting to love me. Like they just want to do more for this family, but in just this family, it's like we want to do less for each other for the kids. Not healthy at all.
Yeah, I can feel that you are going through a lot. There is fairness, there is responsibilities, there is love, conditionally and unconditionally. There is people don't own responsibilities. Which one would you like to focus on first?
I think I probably want to focus on something more about partnership, collaboration, the real collaboration I'm looking for, instead of just responsibility assignment in this family.
Yeah, real partnership.
Yeah, real partnership.
What does real partnership means to you?
I think it means being willing to take care of either kids or the partner when the other person is maybe exhausted, tired, and just needs help, just to step in voluntarily instead of kind of required to step in. I think that's the first one, like caretaking part. And second is more about showing appreciation in a way that the other person can feel or just can feel appreciated, or like, because the other person, for example, me, have been the one who has been sleeping with a kid overnight for, wow, which year is it? Like since 2022, when our first son was born, I've been the one who is taking care of the overnight shift until the child is able to sleep overnight. And then my husband cheerfully started to take on that responsibility, which means to me no responsibility because, well, I've been going through such a really challenging time with no sleep, no self-care, no me time. And there's no appreciation from, I mean, it's very complicated during that time in our family. Like my in-laws were there, were here as well. And I definitely don't think they can, I didn't expect them to give me any appreciation, but I just didn't want them to interfere so much that my husband also thought that it's actually something the moms need to do. And they even asked me for more, like is in addition to like overnight shift, everything I've already contributed while I was actually working full time in the day. I basically didn't have any time to sleep or catch up on sleep. Living with my partner and his parents made me feel both physically and emotional draining. I was draining every day because they also need my emotional support and the things I have to respond every time, like very basic health issue for my kids. And during that time, I had only one kid, and the other one was I was pregnant. And then they asked me for more, like just one very simple basic health checkup. And then I was basically following the doctor's advice. And then they challenged me all the time, trying to prove they are right while they are totally wrong, and that will cause my kid to danger, like even to death, and they didn't care. And that was really traumatic to me.
So I heard people don't take initiative. People don't show appreciation. People that are emotionally and physically draining you.
Yeah.
Given all what we have discussed, what would you like to walk away from today's session?
I want to walk away with the peace of mind that I wouldn't be bothered by anyone surrounding me who are joining to me. I just want to be close to the people who really love me and care about me. My parents, of course, they really love unconditionally. They are even helping me taking care of the kids for such a long time. Um, yeah. And another thing is probably some action items or action steps for me to take so that I can really guide myself some more me time or self-care time without thinking or like putting any more mental energy on them, because since my in-laws are already away from us, they're pretty far away, even though they had almost very intimate contact with my husband, but that's no worries. I don't really care about that now. And I was trying to limit their influence on our life by really some social media contacts. I just disconnect with them. And in terms of my husband, he's now showing up consistently. Well, most of the time he's not showing up. I think that's the lesson he really needs to learn, and that's kind of the things he really needs to grow in. It's not my responsibility. But sometimes I do get hurt. I do get frustrated and desperate. So I guess the third thing I just want to walk away from this session is kind of like the mindset of either accept what it is right now, or just find a way to heal myself with or without him, because I'm planning to go back to China with my parents and my younger kid late February, just I think this month. Yeah, this month, late February. Just to give me a break from the chaos here. But I do miss my older child because yes, she will be living with his dad for a few or a couple months in the States. I guess probably just to be mentally and physically prepared for my break back home.
How would you know you have that when you walk away?
For the action items, I think I will just come up with some action items and then write them down. And I do believe I can have that when I walk away. But for the mentally kind of physical preparation for my trip back to my home country, it's a great question because I feel like sometimes I'm not really stable. Either that I can walk away with a very peaceful mind, and then probably after 1 or 2 days, if there's anything happening between me and my husband, or something just happened, and I will become emotional, and I couldn't help but thinking about the past things and past trauma I've experienced, and I will feel deeply frustrated. Right now, I feel like my emotions are kind of managed pretty well, and I wouldn't really release that. But I just feel like it's not really healthy for me just to hold that back, emotions back, instead of really talking to him. But I mean, I feel like there's no need talking to him right now. Just because he wouldn't change, and he will just become very defensive, trying to defend for his parents, for himself, and trying to find a lot of excuses or reasons. And I just don't want to hear about that all the time. So I try not to really talk to him. Just trying to be disconnected. Yeah, I guess probably a good measurement would be I will walk away with that peaceful mind for a longer period of time, probably like till the end of this week. I guess that's more realistic um, outlook.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I hearing this correctly? You'd like to have a peace of mind. You'd like to have an action for healing from the traumas. You'd like to have a way to reduce the impact from people who are draining you or giving
Mm,
you these frustrations.
yeah.
Where do we start?
um, I think probably started from the one or the relationship I'm currently in that is kind of closer because we're now living in the same house and I'm still sharing the responsibilities with my husband on parenting. Mm, yeah, I want to start with this kind of just maybe how to really every time I've seen and or witnessed or experienced something like what happened last night,
Mm,
which is also uh, unfair work distribution last night, but
mm,
I just want to be more prepared
mm,
and can walk away from those kind of incidents
mm,
more peacefully without really draining my emotion to kind of consider like trying to solve that.
mm. What would you like to have? If you have this magic wand, you can sway it and get whatever you have. What's that gonna be like?
Hmm. I think deep inside of my heart, I definitely want it to be changed. Like, I definitely want my partner to be changed, or he change himself. I mean, mm, in a way that he can just show up more for this family, for me, for kids, uh, and he can take more initiative to in parenting instead of me just kind of ordering him to do A, B, C, D, and E. Um, and yeah, yeah, and then yeah, I think probably I've seen or like I've had several girlfriends of mine, mom friends as well. Their husbands are just way better, more responsible, and they can just we played date for several times where I saw and my husband I think he saw as well
Mm,
and how other fathers show up for the family, how they carry on like very simple things like all the packages, going to a picnic, and then they will just like take care of the kids and then just hold the kids, two kids. They
mm,
all have two kids and two kids just to the car, back to the car. But when we were there, we were the only one. We were actually the last one and only one who left from that swimming pool. And then I was holding the younger one. I still need to take care of all the kind of packages. My husband was just like standing there without holding anyone, without really just taking any packages back to the car. And he was just waiting for my order.
mm,
And even with my order, he was like, oh, I was not capable of holding it. And he even told my older son that, oh, father, dad is too tired. I just don't want to hold you. And
mm,
my son just walked away himself. But all the packages, it just basically had nothing in his hand. I was like, wow, that's just a big difference. Shocking between my family and other family I've seen, and other father just like doing the father's job,
mm,
or doing the husband's job even. But he's like, oh, I cannot do anything. I don't know how to do. Yeah, I just want to ask him in front of everyone I know, like, don't you just know how to carry a bag? It's as simple as that. I was the one, and then because probably a lot of my friends noticed that, and then the other fathers came here to help me
mm,
because I just gave birth to my second child. He was very little at that time, I was, yeah. So I wasn't able to leave him alone. I still had to carry him in the right position. And then, and there's a lot of bags from us. And then other fathers came here to help. And he's like just standing there watching us, being very busy, doing everything. So I guess that's so shocking to me, that experience. And maybe realize this is not normal. This is abnormal. And I don't want him to be like that if I have a magical sway. But I know I don't have, and I know we cannot change anyone. I just feel like, yeah, I just I'm super disappointed and super desperate about my situation right now and my relationship with him.
What is within your control? What is not?
I think how he behaves, how he reacts, how he talks, communicates, how he really in any social settings, he just has a very low social skills, social emotional skills, to be honest. And that's something out of my control. What I can control is my words, how I communicate, my needs to other people, maybe. Because him is like very like, yeah, I just don't know how to yeah, I don't want to be a mad wife just shouting at him all the time. But I just don't know how to make him move a little bit, because it's just like, yeah, standing there without doing anything and watching us like you are an observer, like you cannot see we're so busy. So I cannot control that, but what I can control is how I react, how I communicate, even communicate to myself that, okay, here he is, and then I will just accept that. And then yeah, and what I can control for others, like I just don't know. I wish I could say I could control how we kind of perform in front of our kids, because I don't want my kids, they're two boys, they will eventually become men, and they need to show up for themselves and for the family. And I don't want them to see, okay, that's how the husband or that's how the father should show up. So I don't think he's a good example of my case, but I really cannot control that. And yeah, I feel like what I can control, I've already been controlling, and that's kind of limited, especially in terms of parenting style for the kids. I feel like it's two people's job, and he's not taking his role. So, or he's taking his role differently. He definitely thinks he's taking his role, but yeah, we're not working together.
Yeah, judging from all the incidents and experiences, what are the facts and what are the assumptions?
The facts are plenty of examples or incidents where he didn't show up. And the assumptions probably are, well, I probably assume that him being not willing to show up. What I do know, because I communicated with him, I talked to him before, that he did have good intention to show up, but he was like, didn't know how to show up, and he was learning. But I just feel like this learning curve is so steep, and the speed is so slow, that I just couldn't see him grow in a way that is sufficient for this family. And even till today, he's still the one who needs more sleep, needs more self-care, needs more me time, needs to work, and I'm still the one who is taking on most of the initiatives. And even for the preschool application for a older kid, that even though he was the one who drafted the personal statement of, or from the statement for the kid, I was the one who is kind of basically communicating back and forth, handling all the application online. Definitely, I spent much more time and energy on this than him. So this can be kind of like window into our family's work distribution. Like, yeah, he's doing his thing. But I guess the assumptions, I know sometimes I couldn't help but just kind of jumping into the assumption that he's not willing, although he's willing, I know that, but still the facts are still not the partner. I mean, we're still not in partnership, I guess. And I still don't want to work with him on this, on parenting.
I introduce a framework into
Yeah,
the conversation.
please.
There is a willingness component. There is a capacity or capability component. How would you put these struggles into these two buckets?
I think, according to him, because I talked to him before, and every time he said about this kind of like show up responsibility thing is about he definitely has 100% willingness to do ABC, but he doesn't have any capacity or capability. But I got offended by this kind of thing because I feel like, are you indicating that I was born with this full capacity to do everything? But you are kind of, it's like I also learned it when I grow up. It's not I was born with this capacity. You are now born with it. It's not genetic. It's simply something that comes mostly from motivation, and it's kind of like they really, hey, together with his parents, really put me in a way that have been the last resort for everything. Like they cannot handle and because they believe there is another person that who is able to just handle everything. I can do everything. So it really echoes back to the TV shows I watched recently on her fault that, well, women there, they are awesome as well. They're just very awesome. They can do anything. And their husbands just like every time praise them for doing, they're so amazing, can do anything, like from the kid stuff, like sleeping training and everything. But I just feel the same, like he blamed that all to his capacity, but I do not see his full willingness either, although he claimed that he had full willingness.
Yeah, we only have less than 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But what would you have within the last 5 minutes?
I think especially the last half part of our conversation, it made me realize by talking it out. Yeah, about capacity and willingness. I think, sorry, dog barking. What he has been doing and the way he has been showing up really made me disbelieve his claim of him having 100% willingness, just no capacity because of his own physical, emotional limits. Because all he has been doing really made me kind of believe more towards the direction that his willingness is not there, really, especially compared to me. It's not me being physically stronger, like emotionally stronger than him. It's mostly because I've been put into very kind of passive situation where I have to accept everything. I have to do everything because there's no one else who's going to do that for me, and no one else I could ask the help from. And then, yeah, I think that really made me realize there is kind of a gap between us in terms of understanding the willingness and capacity. And I think potentially I can, if I have the energy, I can talk to him about this gap, but I guess there potentially no difference will be made on him. He's just he deeply believes it's a capacity thing. Yeah.
What one or two things that within your control that you can do to move things closer to where you want to be?
Yeah, I think first thing is I will definitely go back to China with my parents and my younger kid just to give me a refreshing restart of everything in terms of parenting, because I kind of when I gave birth to my first child, I was here, and then my parents neither of them retired, so I was basically alone, really feel lonely, and then I was basically handling that myself, and I didn't really know what a good parent should be like how to really parent the kids. Besides the books that I read. So I guess eventually all these years from 2022, we've developed such habits in this small little family that we take those things as a responsibility assignment instead of really cheerfully taking on them as something we show love. We show love to our kids. We show care. So I really need to rewire my my behavior, my mindset in terms of good parenting. From I guess I will just learn from my parents. That's the first thing. And the second is what is within my control. I can definitely try talking to him, my current partner, in terms of the gap I've seen, capacity versus willingness. Although I know for sure he will be repetitively saying something about like he has full willingness, is trying to find every reason, and but I will try to be really disconnected from his emotions and his reasons, excuses, and trying to more connect it to myself, my own being, with some action items I guess I would take is just going out just to play tennis with my tennis buddies, walk a dog is another way, walking the dog, and focusing more of my energy on something that really matters to me, like coaching others, getting coached by my coaches, developing my business in coaching. And then I also have a side hobby or project in wedding planning and designing, so I will just continue doing that. And occasionally giving kind of advice to some of the executives on HR thing, because I used to be an HR partner, business partner. That's kind of my job before. So I guess just filling myself with all those things that matter to me and where I can see my values can make me get connected to myself, more disconnected to people that are draining me.
Yeah, how much time do you have? 2 minutes?
Yeah, I do have 2 minutes before I need to go. But no.
Thanks so much for being vulnerable. Is there anything else to talk about before we close?
No, I think I'm good. I can walk away with 11 o'clock. Just in 2 minutes, I will just pick up a call from another person, a friend. And then I think after that, I will just go out and play tennis. It really reminds me of something I really love. And I feel like in that I can just gain more physical health that is really sabotaged this year by sleeping for just a limited number of hours and trying to do everything for the family.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Thomas. It's really helpful.